What I was telling you the other day when we were getting ready to sing for the program, I'm developing a tremor.
You are? Okay.
God's blessings upon you. Let's praise the Lord together, my friends. We have all awakened in God's shelter. Now we've come to praise His name together. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good
My
morning. My friends.
Sing Hosanna.
Hosanna.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Allahu Akbar, Ya Baha'u'llah. In the sanctuary of our Lord's protection and the stronghold of our Lord's defense, with His love our spirits are illumined as we glorify His name. Our hearts are blessed. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My
Good morning.
friend.
My friend.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My friend.
My friends.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. You know, the Facebook camera is so far away. We can't read who's there, but I can see there's some people there. So whoever you are, I don't know if it's Olga or my cousin John or my sister Mesa or, and you know, Olga, you know she's in Russia. You know what time it is in Russia right now?
I have no idea.
Midnight.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
she tunes in with us so often. I'm like, oh my goodness. So anyway, and so anyone else, I don't know if I didn't call your name. Pam joins us a lot, and there are some others. And I'm having a senior moment. What can I say? But we're glad you're with us, whether it's in the time that we're doing this program, or at some other time. You know what we didn't do?
What did we do?
Zoom.
Zoom?
Zoom's on. Where's the camera?
Zoom is on.
That's what happened.
Yeah. That's okay.
So how are they joining us? They're just
That's-
listening? Can they see us? How do they see us? I need answers, Jeremiah. Tell them we said hello. How you doing, Daryl?
I'm good. How
Happy
are you?
Father's Day. Happy Father's
Same to
Day.
you.
Happy Father's Day, Jeremiah. And I'm going to say Happy Father's Day to Nevada too, because she just, I don't want her to feel left out. And she has, I know that she has guided so many people, young and old. So Happy Father's Day to Nevada, and Happy Father's Day to everybody out there too. And I hope that everyone is doing well and having a good Sunday or whatever day that you happen to, share this time with us. And as always, we like to start with a prayer. So
And I don't have a prayer.
you don't have a
here.
prayer book? Okay, so let's just do the unity prayer. We'll just do the unity prayer. Oh my God, unite the hearts. Oh my goodness, I shouldn't break into a prayer, but if this isn't the right prayer for now. Oh my God, unite the hearts of thy servants and reveal to them thy great purpose. May they follow thy commandments and abide in thy law. Help them, O God, in their endeavor, and grant them strength to serve thee. O God, leave them not to themselves, but guide their steps by the light of thy knowledge, and cheer their hearts by thy love. Verily thou art their helper and their Lord. Yes, the unity prayer. And as you know, of course, we are continuing our study of the seven valleys. And I always feel the need every once in a while to do a little recap of what we've done. So just very quickly, today we are starting the Valley of Contentment, which is the fifth of the seven valleys. Two more to go after this. And I'm just going to read a short, brief synopsis of what each valley, what occurs spiritually in each valley. Okay? In the Valley of Search, which is the first valley, it is the beginning of the journey. Here, the seeker feels a deep inner void. Feeling a deep inner void forsakes ordinary material concerns, and this stage is marked by a hunger for truth. Okay? Then you have the Valley of Love. It's an all-consuming passion. In this valley, the seeker becomes overwhelmed by a burning, irrational love for the divine, a fire that consumes all other attachments. Then you have the Valley of Knowledge, and it is beyond intellectual understanding. Here, the seeker is granted an inner illumination, a kind of revelatory insight that surpasses mere academic or rational knowledge. This is the realm of intuitive wisdom, where the essence of divine truth is perceived without the veil of conventional reasoning. Then you have the Valley of Unity, which we just finished. And this is where the seeker realizes oneness. At this stage, the seeker grasps that all existence is interconnected, that the apparent dualities of lover and beloved, self and God, are actually illusions. The realization of oneness brings about a profound shift in perspective that dissolves all sense of separateness. You have that feeling of being connected with everything and everyone that exists. And so with that, we are now beginning the Valley of Contentment. And I don't know if I should read a synopsis for that before or after. It's actually very brief. This section of the book is very brief. We could even finish it today. But I'll just say, according to this source, once again, it is the art of surrender. And there's a point where I want to read something that actually comes from Abdu'l-Baha that connects with this. But let's go ahead and start reading, if you would be so kind, Daryl. The Valley
of Contentment.
Yes.
In this valley he feeleth the winds of divine contentment, blowing from the plain of the Spirit. He burneth away the veils of want, and with inward and outward eye perceiveth within and without all things. The day of God will compensate each one out of his abundance.
Okay, I'm stopping you right there, Daryl. God, the day of, God will compensate each one out of his being God's abundance. I don't know, I just think that's the thing that's hard for people to. I don't know, I'd like to play devil's advocate. God will compensate each one out of his abundance. So here's the devil's advocate question. that you may not have an answer to, and I'm not expecting an answer. But I bet some people who might hear something like this might be thinking, so why doesn't everyone have abundance?
We're talking about God's abundance, not individuals' abundance.
Okay. Okay, I'll just leave it at that. But okay.
We're not talking about individuals.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, wait a minute. You're right. And it pretty much implies that at the beginning of that sentence. He burneth away the veils of want. The veils of want. Like wanting is a veil. He burneth away the veils of want, and with inward and outward eye perceiveth within and without. It's inner self and outside of himself. Within and without, all things, the day of God will compensate each one out of his abundance. Okay.
From sorrow he turneth to bliss, from anguish to joy. His grief and mourning yield to delight and rapture. Although, excuse me, although to outward view the wayfarers in this valley may dwell upon the dust, yet inwardly they are throned in the heights of mystic meaning.
Ooh.
They eat of the endless bounties of inner significances and drink of the delicate wines of the Spirit.
This sounds like a turning away from materialism to me.
It is.
Yeah. From sorrow he turns to bliss, from anguish to joy. His grief and mourning yield to delight and rapture, although to outward view the waver. So it's saying, yeah, outwardly, this person in this valley may have nothing. The wayfarers in this valley may dwell upon the dust. Yet inwardly they are throned in the heights of mystic meaning. Okay.
The tongue faileth in describing these three valleys, and speech falleth short. The pen steppeth not into this region. The ink leaveth only a blot. In these plains the nightingale of the heart hath other songs and secrets which make the heart to stir and the soul to clamor. But this mystery of inner meaning may be whispered only from heart to heart, confided only from breast to breast. Only heart to heart can speak the bliss of mystic knowers. No messenger can tell it, and no missive bear it. I am silent from weakness on many a matter, for my words could not reckon them, and my speech would fall short. O friend, till thou enter the garden of such mysteries, thou shalt never set lip to the undying wine of this valley. O my friend, till thou enter the garden of such mysteries, thou shalt never set lip to the undying wine of this valley. And shouldest thou taste of it, thou wilt shield thine eyes from all things else, and drink of the wine of contentment. And thou wilt lose thyself from all things else, and bind thyself to him, and throw thy life down in his path, and cast thy soul away. However, there is no other in this region that thou need forget. There was God, and there was naught beside him. For on this plain the traveler witnesseth the beauty of the friend in everything. Even in fire he seeth the face of the beloved. He beholdeth in illusion the secret of reality, and readeth from the attributes the riddle of the essence. For he hath burned away the veils with his sighing, and enwrapped the shroudings with a single glance. With piercing sight he gazeth on the new creation. With lucid heart he graspeth subtle verities. This is sufficiently attested by, and we have made thy sight sharp in this day.
Okay, Daryl, no, I have to stop you there.
One last sentence.
I know, but that goes
After
into the next
journeying
valley.
after journeying through the plains of pure contentment, the traveler cometh to the valley of wonderment.
I knew you were going to be reading that, but I still didn't want you to. Anyway, this is the valley of, again, the valley of contentment. And as you were reading, I was thinking, just that simple word contentment might not be the same to everyone. I mean, what is the difference between being, happy and joyous and being content? Because to me, they really are different. I have had moments of joy, and it was great, and have had periods of happiness. I don't think any of it, and this is just a personal statement, compares with being contented. And I mean, obviously, I'm not speaking for everyone, but I think there's a lot to be said. Imagine if this were called the Valley of Happiness, the Valley of Joy, but it's called the Valley of Contentment.
Well, I think there's a peace that comes with contentment. Is how I see it.
Yeah.
I think contentment is, in a major sense, deeper than just happiness or just simple joy.
Yeah.
I think there's a peace that comes with
I think you're 100% correct. I think you are 100% correct. And if you go back through here, and I don't want to belabor this. Well, yes, I do. But, I mean, you think about it. Okay, number one, that first thing, we already mentioned, God will compensate each one out of his abundance. God will compensate each one out of his abundance. And then later on it says, to outward view, the wayfarers in this valley may dwell upon the dust, may live on the dirt, may dwell upon the dust, but inwardly they are throned in the heights of mystic meaning, things that are much deeper and more significant. They eat of endless bounties of inner significance. They drink of the delicate wines of the Spirit. And then Baha'u'llah goes on to say, basically, there are no words to describe this. He says the tongue fails in describing these three valleys, and speech, and I'm taking off the old English, falleth and faileth and so forth, and speech falls short. The pen does not step into this region. The ink only leaves a blot. In these plains, these places, these spiritual places, the nightingale of the heart has other songs, and I just love the way he says that, has other songs and secrets which make the heart to stir and the soul to clamor. And he says, but this mystery of inner meaning may be whispered only from heart to heart, from breast to breast. It's like, there are no words that can really describe it. And it says, until you enter the garden of such mysteries, you will never set lip to the undying wine of this valley. And if you taste of it, you will shield your eyes from everything else, and you will drink of the wine of contentment. And you will loose yourself, not lose, but loose yourself from everything else and bind yourself to him, which is God. And you'll throw your life down in his path and cast your soul away. And I was reading in this book, this is a book that's a personal study of the seven valleys. And this writer, Sohrab Korosh, he wrote something about this paragraph, and he actually refers to Abdul-Baha. And this is admittedly a little lengthy, but I'm going to read it because this is, as we know, Abdul-Baha took these beautiful, lofty writings and he made them practical for a person. This is how you follow this. This is how you apply this in everyday life. And so it says, in discussing the subject of honor and exaltation and the true station of man, which is not based on outward appearance or material riches, Abdul-Baha says, and I should point out this is coming straight from Some Answered Questions. And I know I'm going on too much, but I was thinking, say that. What's the name of that book?
Some Answered Questions.
Some Answered Questions.
Right.
I said it that way too, and then this morning I was thinking, we shouldn't say it that way. We should say, Because most people say, what book was that? Some answered questions. Some answered questions. We should say, to me, some answered questions. So you've got these questions. Here are the answers, some answered questions. Anyway, this is coming from there. Listen to this. And this takes this beautiful poetic, this beautiful mystical language, and it really translates it into everyday life. Listen to what Abdu'l-Baha says. Then it is clear that the honor and exaltation of man must be something more than material riches. Material comforts are only a branch, but the root of the exaltation of man is the good attributes and virtues which are the adornments of his reality. These are the divine appearances, the heavenly bounties, the sublime emotions, the love and knowledge of God, universal wisdom, intellectual perception, scientific discoveries, justice, equity, truthfulness, benevolence, natural courage, and innate fortitude. Those are the gems, those are the jewels. And he goes on. The respect for rights and the keeping of agreements and covenants, rectitude in all circumstances, serving the truth under all conditions, the sacrifice of one's life for the good of all people, kindness and esteem for all nations, the guidance of the people and the education of the nations and races. This is the prosperity of the human world. This is the exaltation of man in the world. This is eternal life and heavenly honor. These virtues do not appear from the reality of man except through the power of God and the divine teachings, for they need supernatural power for their manifestation. I probably got a little too excited about that. But I tell you, and just one more little thing on this subject, the opening paragraph of the Kitab-i-Ad, the will and testament of Baha'u'llah, is a very good example. He says, and this is from Baha'u'llah, although the realm of glory hath none of the vanities of the world, yet within the treasury of trust and resignation, we have bequeathed to our heirs an excellent and priceless heritage. Earthly treasures we have not bequeathed, nor have we added such cares as they entail. You know.
Can't take it with you.
That's right. And more money, more problems. I see you put your book down, Darrell.
Yes.
I'm assuming that's a sign for me to. I want to read that paragraph again. I'm not going to. But it's just that. I will say this. Do you notice how in that paragraph it went beyond just personal stuff?
Oh, of course.
It reached out into the needs of society and the development of mankind and so forth. It wasn't just about the individual. Blessed beauty, be my guiding light. Blessed beauty, show the way. Blessed beauty, be my protector. Help me grow in love for you day by day. Blessed beauty, be my teacher. blessed beauty, night and day, blessed beauty, be my sustainer. I'll forever follow you, come what may. In the good times and the hard times, you've been right there, waiting to guide me. And if ever I would falter or stray, you stood waiting beside me. Blessed beauty, blessed beauty, be my guiding light. Blessed beauty, show the way. Blessed beauty, be my protector. Help me grow in love for you day by day. I'll forever follow you, come what may. Blessed beauty. For anyone who wonders who's blessed beauty, well, that's Baha'u'llah, manifestation of God. So now we are entering a new valley, the valley of wonderment. And because we have time that we have to, I almost don't want to get into this next valley. I will admit it. I mean, but yes, it is the next valley, so we're going to go ahead and start. The valley of wonderment. After journeying through the plains of pure contentment, the traveler cometh to the valley of wonderment and is tossed in the oceans of grandeur, and at every moment his wonder groweth. Now he seeth the shape of wealth as poverty itself, and the essence of freedom as sheer impotence. Oh my goodness, I'm going to read that again. This is mainly for me. I want to make that clear. After journeying through the plains of pure contentment, the traveler cometh to the valley of wonderment and is tossed in the oceans of grandeur. And at every moment his wonder groweth. Now he seeth the shape of wealth as poverty itself, and the essence of freedom as sheer impotence. Now is he struck dumb with the beauty of the all-glorious, the beauty of God. Again is he wearied out with his own life. Oh my goodness. Again is he wearied out with his own life. How many a mystic tree hath this whirlwind of wonderment snatched by the roots? How many a soul hath it exhausted? For in this valley the traveler is flung into confusion, albeit in the eye of him who hath attained such marvels are esteemed and well beloved. I'll admit, I'm not sure I understand that sentence. I'm going to read that again. Maybe you can help me out with that. For in this valley the traveler is flung into confusion, albeit in the eye of him who hath attained. Oh, such marvels are esteemed and well beloved. I don't know, help me out with that. I think for a moment there I thought I had a moment of a bit of an epiphany, but I'm not sure. At every moment he beholdeth a wondrous world, a new creation, and goeth from astonishment to astonishment, and is lost in the awe, or is lost in awe at the works of the Lord of oneness. I don't know. I think I'm kind of getting it, but I'm not sure. You got anything, Darrell?
Well, to me, it almost seems pretty clear.
No. Is that why it was bumping? This is Jeremiah for anyone. Okay, you were saying, Darrell?
Well, it says the traveler is flung into confusion, albeit in the eye of him who hath attained. Who is he who hath attained?
I don't know. The traveler, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, he talks earlier about wealth being the soul of poverty.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
he who hath attained is he who may be wealthy. Okay?
Yeah.
And it says that he goeth from astonishment to astonishment and is lost in awe at the works of the Lord of oneness.
I guess, okay, go ahead. Please finish.
It's just saying that there's such grandeur here that it's overwhelming. That's what it is. He's just overwhelmed.
So why didn't you just say that? But yeah, I have to. I guess that, yeah, that makes sense to me. Yes. Yes, it does. And yeah, I mean, it is, let's face it, it is the valley of wonderment.
That's right.
So, I almost feel
he's lost in awe at the works of the Lord of oneness. In awe. He is lost in awe. He is overwhelmed.
I in my life, I have run into so many people. And I grew up very poor. I did. We were poor. I could tell you stories, but we were poor. We've talked about that. But I knew people who thought we had money. And we knew that they were even poorer than us. So the idea of someone having experienced poverty, the idea of someone who could consciously look at the possibility of wealth, or maybe actual wealth, and just not even be impressed by it at all. Because, the deeper meanings and mysteries of God, somehow they've gotten a peek of it. And they have experienced the beauty of it all. And to be able to look at, let's say, material wealth and the trappings thereof and all the problems that come with it, and still to say, no, that doesn't impress me. And then to turn that around and to be able to see someone who outwardly may be, in the depths of poverty, and yet they still have a sense of joy, a true sense of contentment, and still marvel at the things that are just part of creation, part of God's world, and marvel at those inner significances that other people might not be privy to. Imagine being able to exist on that plane.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe you've already gotten there. Are you there, Daryl?
I'm not there.
I'm not either. But it's
I am not.
it's truly beautiful. And now I hear I dropped my mic, and now Daryl might put it up here, and I'm hearing it. Anyway, but I mean, it just shows, I guess, what is truly possible on the spiritual level. You'll be able to sense the beauty of God beyond what we can see. I don't even remember where I was.
Indeed, O brother.
Okay. I think I'm going to start that previous sentence. At every moment he beholdeth a wondrous world, a new creation, and goeth from astonishment to astonishment, and is lost in awe at the works of the Lord of oneness. Indeed, O brother, if we ponder each created thing, we shall witness a myriad perfect wisdoms and learn a myriad new and wondrous truths. One of the created phenomena is the dream. Behold, how many secrets are deposited therein, how many wisdoms treasured up, how many worlds concealed. Observe how thou art asleep in a dwelling, and its doors are barred. On a sudden thou findest thyself in a far-off city, which thou enterest without moving thy feet or wearying thy body. Without using thine eyes, thou seest. Without taxing thine ears, thou hearest. Without a tongue, thou speakest. And perchance when 10 years are gone, thou wilt witness in the outer world the very things thou hast dreamed tonight. Now there are many wisdoms to ponder in the dream, which none but the people of this valley of wonderment, can comprehend in their true elements. First, what is this world where without eye and ear and hand and tongue a man puts all of these to use? That's one heck of a question. What is this world where without eye and ear and hand and tongue a man puts all of these to use? Second, how is it that in the outer world thou seest today the effect of a dream when thou didst vision it in the world of sleep some 10 years past?
Deja vu.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I'm glad you said that word. Consider the difference between these two worlds and the mysteries which they conceal. And thou mayest attain to divine, that thou mayest contain. I'm sorry, let me start that sentence over. Consider the difference between these two worlds and the mysteries which they conceal, that thou mayest attain to divine confirmations and heavenly discoveries, and enter the regions of holiness. God the exalted hath placed these signs in men to the end that philosophers may not deny the mysteries of the life beyond, nor belittle that which hath been promised them. I'm going to read that again. God the exalted hath placed these signs in men to the end, I'll just say for the reason, so that philosophers may not deny the mysteries of the life beyond, nor belittle that which hath been promised them. For some hold to reason, and deny whatever the reason comprehendeth not. And yet weak minds can never grasp the matters which we have related, but only the supreme divine intelligence can comprehend them. How can feeble reason encompass the Quran, or the spider snare a phoenix in her web? And that might be a good stopping place, do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
I want to read it all again. This is, I didn't think we were going to get this far today, admittedly. And so I had not read into the Valley of Wonderment. I was really just stuck on the Valley of Contentment, as brief as it is. And I read that section by Abdul-Baha. I was really just blown away by that and considering that. And then you get to the Valley of Wonderment. And this is a terrible analogy. But when I was in 6th grade, Daryl,
Yes.
When I was in sixth grade, we lived in North Carolina. Like I said, we were very poor. But we had relatives that lived in New York. And me and my brother were able to go to New York and spend the summer there and with our relatives who were a lot better off than we were. You know, they were doing okay. And they took us to Coney Island. I had never been to an amusement park before. And I know, Coney Island compared to the theme parks today, but to me it was absolutely amazing.
Of course.
The lights, the rides, it was amazing to me. And I know it is a terrible, terrible comparison to this Valley of Wonderment. But that's all I've got to go on, is that feeling of just amazement. And if that can amaze someone, imagine what the workings of God can do to someone who's open, spiritually open, and really on the level of getting into that Valley of Wonderment, where you can just, see so much with the inner eye instead of the outer eye. Anyway, I wanted to share that because next week I'll forget that it was on my mind.
Well, I think all of this is dependent upon where you are
Yes,
in your development.
and that is true.
There was a movie several years ago called The Gods Must Be Crazy. It was all about a Coke bottle that fell from the heavens into this very poor, into the hands of this very, very poor guy who had nothing at all. And he was just so amazed by this Coke bottle. It was just simple, something very simple, but it was something to him that was wondrous. And I think that applies to all of us, depending on where we are in our development. The wonderment that comes can be life-changing.
And also, as adults, how often do you come across something as an adult that amazes you?
I have days when I have time periods when it's daily.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess I'm a little more of a cynic. I'll admit, I don't get that feeling very often of absolute amazement. It happens occasionally, and frankly, it usually happens when I'm, reading, from the words of Baha'u'llah, or maybe even trying to write a song, and you get this moment of wow.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, to be able to fathom where from moment to moment to moment you are just amazed, and maybe even at simple things, but simply things you had never pondered before, never thought about. I know we're belaboring this, but I still remember. Think about four-leaf clovers. I remember when my grandmother, I was a kid, who told me four-leaf clovers were good luck. And she told me, I was down in some grass in her yard, and there was some clover, a lot of clover there. And she told me, I bet you can't find a four-leaf clover. And I started looking. And indeed, I found a four-leaf clover. And I kept looking and didn't find any more that day. But I just remember how, I don't know. Well, number one, I expected good luck. I don't know if that happened or not. But it's just that finding that four-leaf clover in that bunch of clover and having picked and finally finding it. I mean, it was such a simple thing. And yet I still remember just my sense of, I don't know, for lack of a better word, amazement. I don't want to say wonderment, but maybe that was it. But I mean, again, I was a kid. I was a little kid. And I just thought, wow, all this clover, and there's one, And so, I mean, I wish we could relate to this with more than just physical, imagery. But that's all we've got right now when you get down to it. And maybe that's why we should be trying to get deeper and deeper in the Spirit and connecting on a spiritual level with God's creation. And I don't just mean the physical creation, but that within us. And maybe we'll be closer, to that wonderment that Baha'u'llah speaks of. Anyway, I guess at this time, anyone who would like to share a prayer, a reading, or a song of your choosing, This is that time. We don't know who's in Zoom because we don't. That's my fault. I didn't set the laptop up. Didn't think about that. But who's with us in Zoom, Jeremiah?
Aloha.
Aloha. Is that Terry?
That is correct.
How you doing, Terry?
I'm doing all right.
That's good.
I guess I could say, oh, sorry.
Please feel free to share.
All right. He is the mighty, wait a minute. He is the mighty, the pardoner, the compassionate. O God, my God, thou beholdest thy servants in the abyss of perdition and error. Where is thy light of divine guidance, O thou the desire of the world? Thou knowest their helplessness and their feebleness. Where is thy power, O thou, in whose grasp lie the powers of heaven and earth? I ask thee, O Lord my God, by the splendor of the lights of thy loving kindness, and the billows of the ocean of thy knowledge, and the wisdom, and by thy word wherewith thou hast swayed the peoples of thy dominion, to grant that I may be one of them that have observed thy bidding in thy book. And do thou ordain for me that which thou hast ordained for thy trusted ones, them that have quaffed the wine of divine inspiration from the chalice of thy bounty, and hasten to do thy pleasure, and observe thy covenant and testament. Powerful art thou to do as thou wouldest. There is none other God but thee, the all-knowing, the all-wise. Decree for me that by thy bounty, O Lord, that which shall prosper me in this world and in the hereafter, and shall draw me nigh unto thee, O thou who art the Lord of all men. There is none other God but thee, the one, the mighty, the glorified.
Thank you,
I
Terry.
remove my headphones.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I'm
Is there
Del.
anyone else who would like to share? Please.
Del Navas.
Please.
ولبها ای جمال لبها ای حضرت کبریا این سرگشتگان گمگشتگان روی توان به سودایا روی تو عنایتی فرما تا قلوب جلوگاه روی تو گردد و صدور آتشکده های پرسو انوار اسرار بر سرائر بتابد و پرتوی بینش بر بساطه زنند ای ای.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to share? Well then, it's at this time that as always, we like to remind people that this is a community effort, a joint community effort, people from different communities that are coming together to bring this program to you, this devotional program that's based on the Baha'i writings. And if you are someone who would like to become a part of the Baha'i faith or is simply interested in knowing more about the faith, there are some definitive websites, authoritative websites that you can go to. You can access online. There are also books. But what are some of those websites, Daryl?
www.baha'i.org, www.baha'i.us, www.bahaiteachings.org, or if you happen to be in the Clearwater, or anywhere in the world actually, you can go to the Clearwater Baha'i website at www.clearwaterbaha'is.org.
Thank you, Daryl.
You're welcome.
And I don't know. I know we're running out of time here. We only got about 5 minutes, and we keep going back and forth, back and forth. No, we don't. I keep going back and forth about whether to continue our program, and right now I'm in a continuing mode. But what you're saying, I'm kind of taking the scenic route to make a simple point. Again, to those people who may be in this particular area here in Clearwater, Florida, please feel free to come out and join us Sunday morning, 10 o'clock. It would be great to see you here. Anything else you'd like to say, Darrell?
I would like to say that if you happen to be one of those people in this world who is loved, you are truly blessed. If you want to improve conditions in the world, I'll say it again. If you want to improve conditions in the world, then you'll find a way to share that love. And I guarantee you, if you do, there's no question about whether the world will be improved. And it's the only thing I ask of you is please just share the love. Thank you for joining us.
O people of justice, be as brilliant as the light, and as splendid as the fire that blazed in the burning bush. The brightness of the fire of your love will no doubt fuse and unify the contending peoples and kindreds of the earth. Whilst the fierceness of the flame of enmity and hatred cannot but result in strife and ruin, we beseech God that he may shield his creatures from the evil designs of his enemies. He verily hath power over all things. Let your vision be world embracing. Let your vision be world embracing. Let your vision be world embracing. Be world embracing. Let your vision be world embracing. Let your vision be world embracing. Let it be world embracing. Watch over yourselves, for the evil one is lying in wait, ready to entrap you. Gird yourselves against its wicked devices, and led by the light of the name of the all-seeing God, make your escape from the darkness that surroundeth you. Let your vision be world embracing rather than confined to your own self. These are the words of Baha'u'llah. Be world embracing. Let your vision be world embracing. Let your vision be world embracing. Oh, let it be. Let it be. Let it be world embracing. Have a good day, folks. Enjoy your week. Share some
you.
love. Stay safe. Happy Father's Day to all the papas out there and all the papa figures out there. Take care.
Allow up.
Allah.